Hi guys, Natalie here, Naughty Natty TV. I'm here with Hannah. Hi John. Dave's already coming in. But no, we're here talking today. We usually do different things, and obviously there's no football, so we're going to talk about what's gone before. And obviously, Man United, they've got a good relationship with Sheffield United. A lot of players have been there. I think it's 6 now, Hannah. And that's across 2 seasons. Hannah's a Sheffield United fan, women's fan, and men's fan. Yeah, both.
Yeah. For all my sins, yeah.
So you got Dino as well. So you can maybe throw that in at the end.
Mate, absolutely. We love it.
Yeah, best of both worlds. So there is a really good relationship, men and women, with Sheffield United. And obviously, I want to throw it back to the very first start when it all started. You got Ebony first, didn't you? And I went to see her first ever game. She scored a penalty. But talk to me about sort of Ebony when she was playing those games for you. What do you think? What do you think when you were getting these players through? And then obviously the other two came. But just tell it from your side.
Yeah, I think as a fan, I've always been so grateful. It's never easy coming into, especially with the way the league started. It was kind of like, how do we recruit all these amazing players when we're still a part-time club? And actually, it's always how much is Sheffield United going to invest in it? Like, how serious are they? So I guess you always worry as a fan, actually, what's the commitment going to be like from this really big men's club in their women's side? And I knew we were never going to be. We're never going to be the Man United, for example, of the league that first season. But it's just proven to be such an incredible relationship. I think from when Ebony started, an amazing player.
And sorry,
it's all right.
Sorry, go on.
No, don't worry. There's such a great relationship for the players, for Casey and for Carla Ward as well. We have so many mutual benefits, right from the fact that we get this amazing talent in and it really helps bolster our squad, and the performance that we put out week in, week out is definitely enhanced by these players. But then back to the fact that actually you're getting solid game time for your players who come back as much better developed players. I know I'm jumping on, but if you look at even Ebony, I think, she's now at Bristol, she's playing consistent game time at 19 in the WSL in the top flight. Whereas I don't know if she'd stayed at United, Man United last season, how much game time she would have got in comparison. So
no, definitely.
Yeah,
obviously, then Nom and Bentley came through as well, and I think Nom had a few minutes with us. Bentley had a half, but yeah, it was for us. It was I suppose gelling those players, getting them used to, because really it's the same. Our first team then is practically our first team now. And obviously, you still got young players. You still want them to get minutes. And, for me, I think definitely for Ebony, Nom, and Fran, it was perfect. It's what we needed. And like you've just touched on, I think there is that great relationship as well between Wardy and Casey. I mean, because I think as well, watching Sheffield, because I've grown to have a little love for them now, it's got a similar style of play. I think that helps. What's your thoughts on it?
I agree. I think we're really good at kind of playing out from the back. And when you look at Nom, she's perfect for that. She's become we're really grateful, obviously, to have signed her now permanently. But she's become such a great pivotal role in the defence, especially now with Leandra Little at the back as well. She seems to be such a great, experienced player, and you watch them during games and they're constantly communicating. And that, I feel like that's really helping to develop Nom's game. Playing it for the first half of the season out when you've got the likes of Amy Palmer in midfield to then get it forward to Wilco. It's just the dream. It's just beautiful to watch them play. So it's, from my perspective, it's sick. Just that kind of attacking from the back has worked really, really well for us. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's the way Casey wants to play, playing it out. And I think, especially even you talking about Nom there, getting her those minutes. I think even Palmer, the first few games, and then she came in, and I think Wardy putting her arm around her or whatever has happened, but you can just see the difference from that very, very first games when we were watching it and the way she is now, the way she plays. I know she's come back, but the final few games, I think she was a totally different player from that start to the end. Even with like Ebony and Nom, I think they really developed. Fran as well. You've also got who I think's done fantastic since coming in. It's only been a couple of games she played, but Emily Ramsey.
Yeah.
And I think that's at a point where you did need a keeper, but I think, getting minutes for her was just great because she then played in a game at St. George's, and she just looked like $1 million. Like, for me, the real like star-studded keeper that we, because she hadn't played a lot for United, but Sheffield United giving her that game time.
That's it, and I think like it's come at the kind of a perfect time for her in the sense, like when you've got Mary Earps and you've got such amazing goalkeeping talent when she's back as well, that this is a perfect opportunity for her to get minutes. Just playing in this league, it's a little bit like Dino. I know we mentioned him earlier, but him for the men's side in the Championship gets consistent minutes, whereas in the Premier League, how long would he have got otherwise? So yeah, and I think like you look at the ages of them all, and they're like 18, 19, kind of with the exception of Molly Green, who's but still she's so young in her career at 22.
I think.
Yeah, like it's genuinely just a perfect time, and there's so much development for these players. The support network from both Man United and Sheffield United is sick.
I think so. I mean, we didn't. Sorry, I was just talking to Molly Green. She just followed us on Twitter.
Mate, you're big in the game. You're big in the game.
Army. So I just was like, Molly Green, what? But no, talking of like having players and stuff, I've just said to you, they actually train with us still, the girls, and then they go to you on the Thursday night when you lot train and then play for you. I mean, I think Casey really likes that because I think it keeps them close and it still gets to see them, say, training, but they get that game time as well. Do you think it works out as well for you lot? Because obviously, if, say, they didn't train with us and just train with you, it might not be as beneficial.
Yeah, I agree, and I didn't know that before we were chatting earlier, and it's such that's such a perfect setup, I think, because it gives these players, like they get to play week in, week out with absolutely top players from the WSL. They get that high level, like the facilities, the coaches, they've got all access to all of this amazing support at Man United, but then they're getting solid game time. I don't think there's anything in men's football, I could be wrong, but like in the men's game where it replicates that because of the nature of it being full-time at so many levels. Like I think it's perfect for us. And I think, for the players even as well, the fact that Casey can see and play every single day training is sick, rather than her having to come over to games or to our training, which probably wouldn't work because of like game clashes and stuff. It's so nice for her and her coaching staff to be able to keep an eye on. And I do wonder as well, like how that impacts things, like calling Amy Palmer back from a loan spell. I think obviously we know she'd been playing incredibly for us, and I'm so sad to see her go because she was such like a really, really important player in our squad. But I wonder whether Casey saw just some stuff in training and thought, like she's ready to come back. And actually, if this all had been going on and the league was on hold, whether she would have got minutes towards the end of the season, that would have been really cool to see.
Yeah, definitely. Because I think, that's what I think about Wardy. I think she's a great coach. I think she's underrated, to be honest, in my opinion, because what she is doing for our players is amazing, and she's making them like 10 times better players. And I think, like you just said, Amy Palmer, she's obviously seen something, whether that's at a game or what, but she was on fire for you lot. And like Dave's saying, how did do you feel? You sort of said, but for me, I'm not devastated because obviously when she was coming back, I was delighted. I was like, yes, we've got Palmer back. She's balling out there. I mean, God, I'm not even saying the difference when I saw that Villa game and the Birmingham game. You could tell like she was missing in that midfield, not anything, but that's how important she was. And I think maybe Casey saw that, and I just hope if it does come back at all, well, she probably will now because it's going to be quick, isn't it? But she gets those minutes because that's what she needs. That's what you need for your young players, and that Sheffield is really helping us develop those players. I mean, it's helping England develop players because, like we said, like under 19, of them. So we're doing a lot, and I think Amy Palmer got called up to the 21s. I mean, I think because she was of that age, but it's good for her to get called up, having game time behind her, rather than just called up sitting on United's bench kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. Can you see a spot for her in your first 11? Whether that's now or in a time, what do you think?
I can see it in a couple of years' time, definitely. Yeah. I can see it. I think she sees her as, but this is what is strange for me about Palmer. I think Casey sees her as like a defensive midfielder, but in your team it was more of a box-to-box, I thought. And
yeah.
That's where you get the best Amy Palmer, because she's taking shots from outside the box.
You do. She's lethal.
I want to see. But I understand why she would play her a bit deeper, because the passes are just out of this world. I've said it to Dave. I've said it to even her. Like, I think she's like could be potential England United captain. That's how highly I rate her. Whether it's overrating her, I don't know, but I really see her.
No, like, she's a solid talent. Absolutely solid talent. What do you think she needs to develop? Do you think she needs to stay with United now? Or do you think what do you think Casey will do? Send her out on loan to another WSL side to get her those minutes? I don't know, maybe to somebody like Bristol, who would really benefit from her in their side. But I don't know what the answer is.
In terms of WSL, I don't think Casey likes WSL. Like we said, I think she likes to keep them.
Yeah.
So I'd send her still again to Sheffield.
Yeah.
She would be the only one I'd send, but I'd send her again to Sheffield, because with me and Palmer, I think she needs that confidence boost. Not saying she needs it, but I think when someone tells her you are great, and she believes it, and she's playing week in and week out, scoring goals, making assists, that's when you see the best Amy Palmer. If she probably doesn't get minutes, I'm not saying that she can't come in and out, because I think we saw a great comeback last year. She played against you guys, came off the bench last year, and did really well. So, and London Bees in the FA Cup. So I think she's got that talent where she can stick in, grit it out. I don't know whether she'll think I need to get minutes, because that is most important now. I think she just needs minutes all the time. And I can see her getting minutes with us. I can. I hope she does, even if it's just half a season loan to Sheffield and then half a season with us, something like that.
I think it's a hard one, isn't it? Because like, she's gone from playing kind of full 90 minutes for us, sort of week in, week out, and really performing, and as you say, like, scoring the goals, getting the assists, and really like impressing the fans, the club, everything. And then it would almost like, is it going to be a step back, as Casey pulled her back a little bit too early? And is she like, if she see game time now, does she lose that confidence, that momentum? And I hope not. I hope she really finds a place in your squad, and like kind of shows the WSL what she's capable of as well, because it's something special for sure. Yeah.
Because that's what I thought about Ebony. I thought, she'll come back, play in the WSL, and you'll see the real Ebony, even though she's not doing it for us. I think you can just see the difference that playing week in, week out has given her. Even Nom, even though she's still in the Championship, I think she's a better player from when she first went on loan to now. And
I agree completely. Yeah.
It's
even just, like, Nom from the start of the season. I think when I started, like, I remember the first game, I think it was the Leicester game, like the start of the season. From then to now, and I know we had, Leandra Little coming in defence, and there's that, you've got to work out and build those relationships and stuff. But our back line, is in a much better place, and they look so much better put together now than a couple of months ago. And she's developing so much. And I've got mates who kind of will follow women's football in and out. Yeah, but they know of Nom. Like, they've seen kind of what she's capable of, and they're all excited, and that's huge. Like, I think for other people coming into the sport, that's really exciting as well.
Definitely. I mean, Gary said, is there a maximum number of players allowed out? I don't think there is a maximum, Gary. I think we had 3, didn't we? Now we had 3, but now there's 2. So I think we could loan as many. What would you say then, Hannah, if we started putting a younger age group in? There's a little girl, she's little. She's called Maria Edwards, and I don't know if you've heard of her, but she's got over 20 goals in the development squad. I think she's ready to play. She reminds me of a little LJ. She is little, but you know, do you think that Wardy would take someone like that, or do you think because you're so high up the league that you need to more focus on getting ready-made quality players?
I think it's a fine line. That's a really good question. I think you've definitely got to balance it. As soon as you stop taking this young talent on, you stop developing. And that's my only concern with taking on players on loan from Man United, is that we got lucky with Nom because we managed to sign her. But when you look at Amy Palmer and the impact she's had on the squad, to then lose her is such a big loss, especially mid-season. And with them just being loans and the fact that you can pull players at any time you need them, it's always a big risk, and it feels a little bit like we're playing with fire. I'd happily have Maria Edwards. Yeah, absolutely. I think we've just signed Lucy Watson from Donny Bell's 16, and she seems to have just kind of taken them by storm. I think she was playing in their first team when she was 15. Which that's something pretty special. So I'm excited. I've not seen her play yet. But I think when you look at players like that, there's nothing to stop Wardy from saying, let's take them on, especially with the support network that Edwards would have from Man United if she was on loan with us. To be able again to train week in, week out with Katie Zellerman and the squad there, sick. That's we'd be mad not to take like that on.
Yeah. I mean, is there any players that you look at United squad, say on the fringes, and you think, oh, we'll have her, we'll have that one, or is it just sort of whoever comes, we'll just take them?
Dave and I chat about this a lot, and he's like, "You can have so and so." I'm like, "Hey, I'll take them." I take anyone, and the reason I say that is, when you look at the players that have come in, and you kind of think, I can understand why United have sent them out on loan, but why? Not necessarily why have we taken them, but I'm a little bit skeptical about how they're going to perform for us. And then these players just get molded into these incredible players, and they grow so much that I'm kind of learned to go in with such open eyes and just think, I'll take this player. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. And if it doesn't work out, then they probably won't get minutes with us even. And that's cool. I trust Wardy enough to think she'll make the right decision on game day and she'll put the right players in. But it's kind of proven so far that with that track record, we've had some sick players come out of it. So I'll take anyone. Anyone you want to send my way. If you want to send if you want to send any of them.
Right. Well, what you've just said there actually just made me think, for us, we needed her to go and get some minutes. I'm sure you know who I mean now. But for you, it didn't really look like a good deal. Molly, when she went, what did you think? I know you said you've learned to just let it slide, but well, I'll go on to Gary's question. What do you think?
I think I'd not seen a lot of it. I'll be honest. I'd kind of I'd looked her up when we signed her. I'd spoken to Dave about it, and it's a really interesting one. She came into the matchday squad pretty quickly. I feel like it was almost it was either a couple of days, a day or so later, or if not a week after. And that seemed to be really sudden. And so I didn't know how she would gel with the squad. And I haven't seen enough of her to fully comment.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm sold on her just yet. I want to be. I really want to be.
Yeah.
And I think a couple more games and I will be.
Yeah.
I think I see Amy Palmer still, and I'm just I just want Amy Palmer back. That's because I'm so used to how well she's doing it, and she was such a big impact for us. I'm just I just want her back. You sign her. What did you think about her coming to us?
I was happy. Well, for us, I was happy. For Sheffield, I sort of thought what you just said. Well, where's she going to play? Well, we were expecting Palmer to still stay there, so I thought, well, they're going to have Molly, Maddie, who else is in your midfield? I don't really know, but I thought, who's going to go? Who's going to get left out? I didn't know Jade Pennock plays in and around there. Thought,
Yeah.
Molly's not really had much game time. Is she going to come in a bit rusty? Well, what obviously they wanted was her to get game time, but I thought the midfield had done so well with Palmer. You can't take anyone out. But no, she ended up taking Palmer back, and whether it's a case of we'll take Molly and we take Palmer kind of thing, which it looks like now.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Yeah.
But let's go on to Gary's question. He's saying, if you loaned your 11 players and you got promoted, would it feel the same as producing some of your own players?
No, it would feel like cheating. Honestly, like in short, no. It'd feel like it was Man United get promoted again. And I love having your players on loan, and I love like for both clubs the kind of the impact it has. But I think there's something really nice still about having our own talent. And we all joke about the fact that we call ourselves Loan FC, but I would think for us to lose like the identity of Sheffield United. I think we've got some talent. You mentioned Maddie there, and I'm a big fan of her. Sam Turney as well. I think she's wicked. So I really want us to do it kind of on our own accord. And if that means we have a couple of your players to support us and to get us there, I think that's what we need. We're still in our infancy. When you look at the league, and I'm so proud of kind of what we've achieved, particularly towards like the end of last season and then this season. And I think it's just so unpredictable at the minute where the league's going to finish up and how it's going to play out. I think maybe another season and we could definitely go up, and I'd love to see us go up and do well. But yeah, I would be sad if we just had loads of your guys. As much as I love it, I would want to have our own record. And yeah, Dave, I'm looking. Do we want Jackie for next season? Yes, please. If you're offering, mate, I'll have her.
They're going to come for Dave now. You can't say that, Dave. They're going to come for you. He knows what I mean. They're going to come for him, mate. That watch his back. Listen, I was just thinking then. I remember last season with that amazing run, didn't you, at the end where you're just winning games? I don't know, was it about 10 in a row or something like that?
Yeah, it was nice. It was really nice.
It was good. I think I watched the London Bees one, and then I went to Durham and saw them there win. It was really good, and Durham won an unbeaten run, I think, or they were, they hadn't lost.
They're a good side, yeah.
And you went there and won, and I was like, come on, like that really made it special. But I remember seeing some comments from other fans, maybe even Villa, maybe even a bit of Luz. I don't know, different fans saying, well, Sheffield have got full-time players there, they're cheating. And I thought, it's not really, because there's other, you could loan from a WSL club if you wanted to, you know what I mean? Like other teams can do that.
Yeah.
When people do say that, what does it make you think or feel?
I think it doesn't, I don't think we're cheating. It doesn't bother me. I think actually, like the way kind of where the women's game is at the minute, I am just like, I'm such an advocate for it. I want anything that can possibly be done to develop the league and to develop women's football in general to be done. So I think if we're coming in and we're saying, actually, you know what, we're going to invest and we're going to pay these players so they don't have to work as teachers during the week. I remember last season when we played Man City, we played them away in the cup and we got absolutely battered. But I remember Casey coming out and being like, like we played so many of 16-year-olds because we've got people who are teachers and they actually couldn't travel to Manchester, or people who've got full-time jobs and commitments. And if we're turning around and being like, do you know what, you don't have to worry about going elsewhere and making money, we're going to put you in the best possible environment so that when we are promoted, we're not turning around and saying to you, because it's now a full-time league and you've got a job as a teacher, actually, sorry, you're gone. We're saying, you're a full-time professional footballer. It's what you've been for a couple of years. Okay, you're now playing against the likes of Steph Horton and Katie Zellerman and all that, and they've been professional for years, and that's a step up. But your week in, week out isn't going to change. You're still going to be training 3-4 times a week. Your workload's not going to change. So I just think it's actually, I salute them for doing it, and I think wicked. If we want to put full-time players in and that structure in for them, yeah, I'm happy.
When you see the Championship, and obviously there's a lot of hoo-ha when we joined, this is a part-time league. But we did what we did. We got promoted, and now Villa, Leicester, London City Lionesses. I'm even talking about Durham, even maybe. There's talk that they're actually full time. I remember Wardy even saying, "Oh, there's 3 full-time teams in our league anyway," and that was after the very first Villa game. And I know Leicester's putting in more money, and they've got, Charlie Devlin, Ella Rutherford. They're getting, they could be up there. What do you think? Do you think that Sheffield might go the same way, or do you think no, it'll stay part-time?
I hope they go. I hope for the players and actually for the club. I think if you want to attract these really good players, what better way than to say, actually, we're proving that we're willing to invest money and infrastructure in the coaches, like giving them the opportunity to play full time. I saw earlier this week, Leicester they've just done some work to improve their women's side, and I'm sure a couple of months ago, Villa, I think, was it Anita Asante? They hired a player as their like the head of women's football. So
and Luca.
Yes, it was. And yeah. And I think like they're just making moves, really making moves. And if we're not careful, we could actually be like second place in the league this season if this is how it's going to finish. But all these teams that finish below us have all of a sudden in this period, they've got like ex-professional players with amazing experience to come in and help to run the clubs, maybe to make them more profitable, to give better advice on conditions for players, all of this. And we could blink and next season we could finish like towards the bottom of the table just because we've not done this. So I think if we're looking and if we are genuinely serious about like being a consistent WSL team down the line, we've got to do it. But then I would also like to see the Championship go full time down the line.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's what they need. They need 2 full-time leagues, or like part. So part time, part full-time, and then just slowly build it. Because I think, the fact that Villa have just gone up, and I think where you are in comparison to Villa, it shows that they need a bit, if you have that extra maybe energy of being full-time, it would help. And like you say, Leicester are putting money in, so there's no guarantee that once Villa go up, that Sheffield's next, is it? It's Leicester could then jump the queue. Just talking about like Lone FC and everything, and we all joke, and because when it all started and Ebony was playing for you, I'd not seen Ebony play, so me and Ben just thought, right, we'll go down like it was nothing. But it's really seemed to we've been embraced, and they've accepted us, and the fans have accepted us, Wardy's accepted us, all the other girls have accepted us. And I was saying to Dave, when we need a striker, I'd take Katie Wilkinson all day anyway.
You can try, but you're not having it.
She's like my little favourite now. But like, what do you feel when like Villa, for example, because our game was called off, a lot of us came down, and it really boosted the crowd. When we come and support our fans or other fans or whatever, how do you feel?
I think it's sick. Like I'm just proud that you want to come and support us as well. I think it helps. We always joke like you boost the noise in the crowd. Wardy loves it, doesn't she? She absolutely loves just hearing the fans behind the players, and that must do so much for them. Like especially at a game as crucial as the Villa game was, you guys being there definitely just puts like a 12 man on the field. So I love it. I love seeing you guys. I love chatting to you guys. And I think it's such a nice relationship. It's such a weird one to have kind of come out of football. But yeah, it's such a cool one. Love it.
Yeah, it is. It's strange. It's something that I never expected to happen. But it's like you say, we've just been welcomed. Like it's like welcome. It's not like us just watching it on the side and that's it. And it's just about our players. It's good to see your players. I mean, you mentioned Maddie, like I was saying, Jade, and even you mentioned someone, Sam. And I think watching her at the start of the season, I think she's really come on leaps and bounds. I think she's really looking a lot better. And I think Palmer's even helped her come on. Not like it's been a mutual thing. And like I said, when there was talk of Molly, not saying that Molly shouldn't play, but I was thinking, well, Sam's really coming good. Maddie's obviously scores a lot of goals as well as Palmer. I thought, what's going to happen? Like, and she's someone that, like, last year, not that saying I didn't notice her, but I didn't really. I was more looking at Norm. Jade Pennant was scoring a lot of goals, and I did see her, but she was the central defensive, wasn't she? Central defender. But now I think she's further forward. I think she's really doing well in there.
And that's pretty weird, isn't it? Like the fact that we're saying, how could a Man United player that's come in on loan, like where do they fit in a squad with Sheffield United players? And that's just testament, I think, to Wardy, to all of the players. And that's another thing you when you were saying about Palmer helping Sam Tierney to develop, they've got access like during the week to the coaches at Man United and all these facilities, and even like Casey, who maybe you won't like me mentioning this, but has had her name mentioned a lot for the England job. Like, what incredible experience. There's definitely stuff they're going to have brought, like, from their drills with Man United, then across to Sheffield United and say, like, this is what we've been working on this week. Why don't you try this? So, in turn, that is, like, without a shadow of a doubt, going to help develop our players. Yeah.
Can definitely see it. Is there anything you want to add, Hannah? I know it's a shorter one, but is there anything you want to say? How do you see the season ending in the Championship? Do you see it being played out?
Championship, probably not. I think it's a tough one. Like with even the weather, for weeks and weeks, we had so many games postponed because of the storms in January. We're so far behind that I just wonder, like, how long is it going to be before we get out of lockdown to a point where the players are allowed to train and they're allowed to play together? And then at what point do they just say, actually, we've not got enough time, we're just going to call this season quits and then move to start up again next season? I don't know how promotion and relegation will play out. I'd love it if two of us got promoted, so I'd love for us to come up. I don't know whether we're quite ready. I think we'd have to make a good few signings in the summer, to really kind of keep our chances alive of staying up next year. But I'd love, of course, for us to see it. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it'll be harder for the Championship, won't it? Because it's already been extended. And it's not like WSL where they can play like Wednesday, Sunday. And I suppose a lot of people would have to go to work as well because it's the livelihood. That's what's going to pay the bills. So it's hard, but I can see the reason. I've said a lot. John saying void. I've said a lot. Promote two from the don't relegate anyone. Which when they've done a little points per game, Liverpool's going down anyway, so that was all good. But promote two, then you've got 9 in the Championship, and then just like I've heard there's talk that they're going to open up Championship license. I've heard that Sheffield have already applied for a WSL license anyway, so that was in the Athletic a couple of days ago. Well, maybe a couple of months ago, but they've applied for a license, so I think we were preparing to go up. I remember last year when you went on that run, and I saw some players after, and we were saying, right, you're going up next year, you're going to go up. But then I suppose you couldn't account for Villa then going full time and doing what they did. Do you see yourself, like, if you did go up, like, do you see it like being a Spurs thing? Get rid of loads and get loads in, or do you think you would keep the ones that you've got there?
I think it's a tough one, and that's going to be such a big test, and that's always a big sign, like how much are the club willing to invest in their women's side. Again, I think like when you look at Spurs, it's kind of keeping them in a position like where they can stay up, and if we didn't do that, then where do we sit? Like, are we going to stay up, or are we going to bounce straight back down? And I'd hate to see us do that, because I think that'd be so damaging. So I'd love for them to invest. I'd love for them to keep some key players without a shadow of a doubt. I think, you don't keep the club atmosphere and the club feel, and if you're doing wrong by all of the players who have got you in that position to be promoted. So a mixture of both. Emma just asked a really good question as well.
Go on.
Yeah, the rumours about like neutral venues and almost playing it out like a tournament. I love going to games, and I think that's such an amazing part of the atmosphere for the fans, but then also for players as well. So it'd be interesting to see how that'd impact it playing behind closed doors. I would desperately want them to be televised. I think they'd have to get that right.
Oh, I think they would.
Yeah,
and I think Championship they'd have to show more of that as well.
Exactly.
At the minute, it's one game, isn't it? Whereas I think they would have to properly show. I think the only way it could go to a neutral venue, Emma, is like how you said, Hannah. Maybe do a little. So Durham, do a little playoff kind of where they just all play 3 games in one day or something like that at St George's, or 3 games across 2 days or something like that, where Durham, Villa, and Sheffield all play. They're the ones who are up there, and whoever wins that little league goes up, and then whoever wins that bottom little league goes down, kind of thing. Because I think, I don't know how far it goes down, but maybe London City Lionesses that could keep it, and then whoever wins that little competition. But it brings out all different things, doesn't it? Then, because then if say Sheffield win, Villa will say, well, they weren't. You know what I mean? If Villa don't win, and the easiest void, isn't it? Not void, but to just stop it now and just
look at points per game.
Yeah. David sort of said, moving to Chesterfield, I think it's brought more fans now. It's a proper ground. I think it has. What do you think?
I think I love it, first off, because it's so close to my house, so it's great.
Okay.
And I love the fact that we're in a proper stadium. It kind of makes you feel like they're taking the game a little bit more seriously.
Yeah.
And the fact that they want the players to have like the proper changing room and even walking out of the tunnel, like that must be really cool for the players. The Villa game and then the Man City Cup game were like phenomenal. I think we saw about 1,500 at each. Our attendance, the first game of the season against Leicester, when it was at Olympic Legacy, was 500. So that just shows people are willing kind of to come out. I was worried at first because, like Olympic Legacy's very easy. There's a tram directly from the city centre, so it's so easy to get to, whereas Chesterfield isn't as easy. Even getting from Chesterfield train station, it's a little bit of a trek down to the ground. So I didn't know whether that would put people off, but it seemed to prove good so far. And I'm excited actually to see whether we'll work closer with Chesterfield's women's team as well. I know they're doing quite a lot of work. They've got a couple of women's sides, and so it'd be nice to see whether we can support them going forward as well. But I
to a guy in there, and he says, this is great. This is like the most fans I've had here for ages. They really love Sheffield. The fact that the women's team's come down, so it's good. For me personally, Dave, I think I loved Olympic Legacy. And me and Dave actually stood in the rain. I think it was Coventry, and it was chucking down. And
I know the game.
Watching that, and I thought, bloody hell, I need a cover, I need a stand, I need some kind of something. This is stupid. There's only one little thing, but it was worth it. But for me, I mean, this is being selfish now because it's not my team, so I can't dictate where they play. But I remember we were thinking about coming down after a game or in the middle of something. I thought, we're not going to make it because we have to do this and this. And I said, it's an extra 20 minutes now, get in there. And it's just travel problems, Mark's saying. But is it close? You said it's closer to your house. Is it closer for generally Sheffield fans, or was Legacy better because it was in Sheffield?
Legacy was much better, probably. It depends, I guess, which side of the city you're on. But it's, I think for me, it was probably about a 25-minute, half an hour drive to Olympic Legacy, whereas it's a couple of minutes now for me. But for a lot of fans, they're coming from North Sheffield. If they're coming from Rotherham, Barnsley way on, it's a good trek. And so I was really concerned actually that they wouldn't come out. The club have done some really good things in terms of they have given, if you've got a men's season ticket, you can come down for free with your season ticket. They're doing loads with youth clubs and giving them loads of free tickets, which it's good to see. Actually, they've kind of got a good structure in place to attract fans. It's working so far.
Well, I remember that Villa when they said come to Villa and you get City for free, so or vice versa. So that was really good, and it's good. I mean, I was devastated that I really wanted to go to City because Emma won't like it now, but I thought, yeah, if we can get the same people down, that'll be really good. And obviously it clashed. I was disappointed that it clashed. I was saying to Rich, your media guy, listen, don't clash, I'm gonna come. You know, we'll all come after work. Jump in, Dave, jump in the car, let's go down, let's go and get a little banter going between the City OSC for Sheffield. But you know, I mean, when you saw Palmer, that's a game that I, you know, playing against City. What was she like? Because obviously I didn't see that, and that's what we really want to see. Want to know how she's doing against WSL teams. What did you think that game, Palmer?
She was good. She held her own. I think, like I genuinely gone in. You know, I normally, if I'm not watching United, I'll go and see City week in, week out, and I'll travel across to City, often more frequently than I will to Sheffield United games. So I've like had the pleasure of seeing both sides. And I had fully gone in expecting City to walk all over us. And I thought, even if we play a lot of reserves like Emma Bissell and that kind of stuff, they're another league, Man City, 100%. But then we came in, and I think like just before half time, we were kind of holding our own. And I remember being like, what's happening? Like, how have City not scored? And, you know, they'd come close, and obviously it ended with a result similar kind of to what I was expecting. Although a little bit more tame than I was expecting. I was expecting a few more goals. I was surprised by our performance. I thought it wasn't as bad as I expected. And I thought if we performed like this in the WSL against some of the sides, you know, that aren't like the top three, but without a shadow of a doubt in a league of their own, I could see us picking up a couple of points, whereas previously I'd have been like, no points at all.
Well, yeah. Me and Dave went to Prenton Park when you had Liverpool and the thing, and to me, it looked like you were the WSL and they were the Championship. And
that's
talk about Liverpool and supporting their women's team and etc. We're not going to go into that. But,
that's a whole different
that's a whole new podcast. But listen, you could tell like Wardy had them drilled. That's what I see it when I see Wardy. I think she really had them drilled. Like, this is how we're going to play. This is how you're going to beat this team. And I love watching Wardy. I love it. She just says it straight down the line. There's no messing with her, and it's everything she says is just true.
I rate her. I think we're so.
Well, when they did that and they beat Liverpool, I just thought, yes, get.
Yeah, and it's nice, I think, like for the players as well, you know, going into that game, they probably thought, like, we've got nothing to lose. Let's just play our best. And if we get anything out of the game, then it's 90 minutes against a WSL side and sick. And to come out with the result they did, will it, like, surely given the players such a boost? And actually, you know, like if we were to have got promoted, you've earned your spot. And you can hold your own against these sides. And it's really nice, and I think it's just showing good things to come from the future.
That's what I definitely think that they've shown, like in that game, definitely. Even Birmingham, I think it wasn't like Birmingham embarrassed. Like you said, you weren't embarrassed by City. To be honest, I thought you were going to beat Birmingham because Birmingham were in a bad patch, but obviously, you know, they've done a little cup run now. Fair play to him, but you know, it wasn't nothing to be ashamed of, nothing to be disgraced by, kind of thing.
I agree, and I think I always go into those games, and I think, like, again, like we get, it's really good that we're getting these minutes against these bigger sides. It can only do us good, and if we come out really like getting battered, then we get battered, and we look at how we can develop from that and how we can grow. But I've been really pleasantly surprised a couple of times this season when we've perhaps gone into fixtures I thought we are likely not to get anything out of it, and we've kind of come out with our heads held high. Yeah.
Well, I think that's why I love the Conti Cup, and I'm probably going to do a podcast next week about Conti Cup, FA Cup. But for me, I think that's why, I mean, it really helped us, Conti Cup last year, even though, yes, we were a full-time team and we were playing WSL. I think it just helped us see the level of WSL and establish what everything's going to be like. I mean, we ended up playing Arsenal So, and we weren't embarrassed in that game. And obviously now you've played City, you've not been embarrassed in that game. Maybe last year you were more so, but it's shown that your levels are growing and you can compete, and that's why I love the Conti Cup, because you see things like Sheffield beating Liverpool or Villa beating Liverpool or different kind of results. And I know Emma Hayes talks bad about it, says this, says that, but for me, I mean, I'm not saying it for everyone, but I love the Conti Cup more than the FA Cup in a way, because I do like that little league thing, and I do like that there's championship in there. Whereas obviously the FA Cup is everyone, but it's just look at the draw. You could get 2 championship teams, you could get 2 WSL teams, and it's just boring in a way. I mean, FA Cup is exciting with the league, everyone gets to play everyone, and I just think it's better. In that way for development of championship clubs. And even if, say, like you said, City played some development team or whatever, it's still good for them to play against a championship club.
It is, and I think I just love for us to go in with the perspective of what have we got to lose. Like, let's just go and enjoy playing. I think that's such a big thing. It's just for the players to go out and enjoy it. Like, just make the most of those 90 minutes that you've got on the field there against what could be some of the the most incredible talent, for example, from City that have just come back from a World Cup. Like, just make the most of it and just learn from them. Even in those 90 minutes, just learn from them. Yeah.
Well, I never thought I'd say, Hannah, that I'm a little blade. I'm a little blade, and that's it. And it's a credit to your club, Wardy, all the girls. Someone like me who just came in like 100% Man United, and I am 100% Man United. I'm not a big, say, follower of everything and all leagues. I know you watch the NWSL, but I'm not. I'm just Man United. That's what made me come into the game. And Sheffield, for them to take a little piece of my heart, it's been a madness, and I've loved it, and I love all your team, I love all your girls, I love all your staff, and I love your fans. I love you. Thanks for coming on.
No, it's so good to have you. It's so nice. And it's wicked just to have you and Dave and all the guys come down to games. It's so nice to see you and to chat about how both sides are doing. And I guess we're just so grateful to have the kind of relationship that Casey's built with Wardy. It really feels like something special.
Yeah, definitely. It really I think what you get is now we've got a little Twitter army, and I think stuff. You get everyone voting, and I see it when Jade Pennock saw something up for a goal of the month or something. All the United accounts start voting.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
No, it definitely feels like we've a whole nother fan base as a result of it.
Definitely, because that's what it is. You've got a lot of our players, so when you do content and it's Amy Palmer content, it's Molly Green, everyone wants to watch it. I remember there was a game I think we had played. We started earlier, and you came on at 2, and I think people were like, "Oh, right, I'm tuning in now because I want to see Molly Green," And I think that's awesome. what you'll see a bit of, and this relationship. I hope it continues because it's a good one. But like you say, it's Blades and Devils. But I was saying to Dave, I think we'll get each other in the Conti Cup, and that'll just be a strange experience.
Oh, don't.
Nice last year playing you, but now I think it'll be a bit stranger. But it is what it is. It's fun.
No, it would be. Yeah, it'd be good to see as well. It would be really good to see.
Yeah. But thank you, Hannah. Thanks for coming on and chatting. Is there anything you want to say? Anything you want to shout out or?
Just thank you. Thanks for having me on to chat. It's been really good fun to chat. Especially in lockdown with no live football. It is so refreshing to chat about football. Yeah. And hopefully we'll get live games again soon.
Hopefully.
But thank you.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Hannah.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.